Kristen is the Vice President of Student Services here at University of Phoenix. She is a full-time executive, mom, yoga enthusiast, and mindset coach. Exciting. She has been teaching and coaching and has been mentoring since 1997. Kristen's role here at the university is to ensure working adults have the services they need to juggle school and life. So she's the person to talk to about juggling it all in this chaos, right? She inspires people to ditch mediocrity, attain their goals, and transform their lives. So we are very excited to hear from Kristen today. Hopefully she can give us some invaluable tips on getting us through and juggling all of those hats. So I welcome Kristen. Kristen, go ahead and take it away. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And for those of you who are nurses or support nurses, thank you for the work that you do. There is something about those of us who are in any kind of health and wellness industry where there is a underrepresentation of understanding the energy that you give and that you put forth in your daily work. So my thanks to you, and my intention today is to be able to give back in some way, shape or form, one little small nugget that you can take with you to utilize for yourself and to also share with others. I do have the chat going and this side screen for me, and I see some participants. People keep continuing to kind of hop in. So as you hop in, welcome aboard. If you've got any questions, please start to send them in the chat. Any comments, anything that's resonating with you, that helps me know where we're at and where we're coming from. So as I get started, I'm going to ask, what brought you here today? And how does stress show up for you right now? So that can be anything, no right or wrong answer. Just feel free to put in the chat anything that is resonating with you right now, even if it's I just need a break. So we're going to talk about mindfulness and meditation. And I like to kind of make sure you're in the right place. So you are in the right place if you've kind of heard or practiced mindfulness in some way and you're curious about it, or you're a master at it. If you'd like to learn a little bit more and you want to know how it can help you in your daily life, you want another tool to help lessen to how things get to you in daily life, and you have a desire to reduce stress, lessen your anxiety, and just in general wish to be happier. I will give you my little backdrop. I know it's been shared that I'm a yoga instructor and a mindset coach, and I came to that through a series of events in my own life. And so there is this belief that I have that we live in a world where wearing yourself thin and doing what it takes at all costs gives you the badge of honor more than pausing and stopping and understanding what you need to be at your best so that you can give more to others. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and the difference between mindfulness and meditation. I want to tell you that you're in good company because mindfulness and meditation, particularly this year, has soared. I think some of the statistics I have on here are from 2018. I'm curious how that's even changed in the last couple of years. But since 2012, the number of people practicing meditation has tripled. We've got about 76% of people who practice meditation for the reason of just general wellness, but we also see boosting energy levels and helping our memory and focus being among the top reasons that people turn to mindfulness and meditation as well. We also are seeing an increase of employers doing things for employees to offer some mindfulness and meditation. In fact, in 2018, there were 52% of employers who saw the benefit and offered mindfulness training for their employees. So it was also talked about that I am a mom. So this is my son. I think this is taken many years ago. He's now going to be 18 in June and graduating high school. I think he's mocking me here in my yoga and my meditation, but we're going to remove some of the mystery out of mindfulness and meditation today. We're going to talk about some of the benefits and challenges, but the best part is we're going to actually practice. So I'm going to ask that you be thinking about now, where is that comfy place for you to be able to listen and to see and to be able to be in a comfortable position, whether that's on the floor, on a chair. Maybe you need to have some preparation for use because we're going to do some practice here at the end. Any questions that you have along the way, put into the chat and we will answer them as we go. So people may think that, okay, I know there are the benefits of meditation. I do things, I look at across my feed and I have some inspiration coming my way and the things that I read, but reading things of inspiration, knowing that there are benefits is not what's going to miraculously relieve any of our anxiety and our stress, nor will we be less exhausted. It's the actual practicing of it that we need to become committed to. And so there is this notion that if I meditate, if I am mindful, if I practice these things, I'm going to begin to eliminate some of the stress in my life. That may be true to some degree, but I offer a different alternative to that thinking. Mindfulness and meditation is not about not having any stress or eliminating it from your life. It is the art and the practice of knowing how to bring yourself back to that centered place that exists when we're free from stress, right? It exists when we're sleeping. It exists when we're on vacation. It exists when we're doing things that light us up. That place naturally exists inside us. And so it is the art of bringing yourself back to that place amidst what's going on and the chaos of life, okay? So we've got a question in the chat that says, is there a minimum or a maximum amount of time that one should meditate at any given meditation session to get the full benefit? We're going to practice some things that are just for a few minutes. And I would argue that whether it's 1 minute or 30 minutes, it really doesn't matter. That 1 minute that you do practice something is going to give you a whole host of benefits. And the amazing thing is you can just keep coming back to it. So here you see a little Venn diagram, because mindfulness and meditation tend to be used simultaneously or in exchange for each other. And there is a difference. So meditation has several forms. There's love and compassion meditations, there's consciousness meditations, there's transcendental meditation. Mindfulness is a type of meditation. And so mindfulness really is recognizing, yes, I have a full mind. I think some of you may have seen a picture that tends to kind of make its way across social media several times, where it shows a person who's mindful, meaning their mind is full, and then there's someone who's being mindful, like you see mindful here. So it's recognizing that your mind is full. You're full of thoughts, you're full of worries, you're full of anxieties, you're full of stressors. And at the same time, you pause for a moment to be completely present in what's going on. And sometimes that being completely present is noticing, I'm feeling fearful right now. I have tons of anxiety right now. I'm noticing this stressor. My mind is going. And it's allowing yourself to pause for a moment and notice what actually is happening and going on. So you're present in that. And in doing that, it starts to dissipate and starts to wash away a bit. It's also getting into your sensations and your taste, your smell, your touch. So I'm going to ask you right now just to pause for a moment, close your eyes, and just notice the sounds around you. For me, I don't hear anything but the little staticky of my computer sound. Some of you might be hearing things far off in the background. So it's pausing and noticing what's happening around yourself in your environment, but then also getting into your body. And that's what we're going to practice. Benefits of meditation. There's a whole host of them. Some of them have been more scientifically proven than others, although there is a plethora of anecdotal investigation and accounts of how meditation has changed people's lives. The top 10 that you hear about most are stress reduction, promoting emotional health and keeping our mind in the right place, reducing anxiety, allowing us to have more focus and concentration, which in turn lengthens our attention span, increasing our awareness, noticing things around you, which has an increased benefit because the minute you're aware of something, then you can actually do something about that. You can choose an action. So if I'm aware in a moment that I'm being triggered by what someone said, and that is causing me to feel a way, the moment I'm aware of that, I can then choose to act a certain way about it. Versus if I'm not aware of it, I just feel and act on impulse. And then I might have to like, oh wait, I wish I would have not acted in that way. Improves sleep, helps blood pressure, strengthens your immune system, improves your mood, increases your happiness. So the one way that I would describe this is all of it is think about if you were to hike and you were going on a pretty new trail. You could kind of see where the trail was, but there were some things in a way and you had to look really close, and maybe there's some rocks or overgrown grass. The path hasn't been paved that well. If you keep doing that trail over and over and over again on a regular basis, that path becomes more clear and very easy to go to. And think about the mind working the same way. We've got different pathways in our brain that take us to the place of stress, that take us to the place of happiness, to take us to the place of anxiety. And some of those pathways in our brain have been paved so clearly and so cleanly now that they're really easy to get to. And a lot of times it's those pathways to stress, pathways to fear, pathway to anger, pathway to anxiety, because our body's in this constant state subconsciously, and we go to those places in our mind all the time. Practicing mindfulness and meditation allows us to create new pathways. Now I know how to go to that place of calm a little bit easier. When I first start out, there's the overgrown grass, there's the rocks in the way, there's the, I'm kind of on the pathway, but did I miss it? Because it's new. So the more you practice, the more you create clear pathways to be able to go to those places in your mind that help you be in the state that you wish to be in and allow you to ultimately control your mind. So meditation also helps us learn that the thoughts that we think and the emotions that we feel have a physical reflection in our body. So how our mind is working, so much of it is done at an unconscious level without us really thinking about it. But yet it manifests itself in our physical body. And those are the things that we actually have as tangible evidence that something's going on. You get a headache, you have tension in your shoulders and you need a massage. You have an overwhelmed crying breakdown. There's some physical manifestation that tells you, oh wait, I must be stressed about this situation. And I wasn't necessarily aware of it until it physically showed up in my body. But meditation helps us learn to connect the mind and the body together. All right, resonating, making sense? Give me a thumbs up, give me any questions. All right, I'm going to talk about different challenges. So far, yeah, sounds great, Kristen. Love the idea, makes sense, but how do you actually make this happen? Because it's easier said than done, just like everything. So I'm going to talk about 4 challenges that people tend to have in practicing meditation or mindfulness. Patience, time, the busy mind, and having diligence. So let's talk about patience first. A lot of times, in fact, it's happened to me when I first started to meditate, is that I have the urge to do something else. I tell myself every morning I'm going to sit down and I'm going to meditate before my day starts, but I have the urge to check Facebook. I have the urge to start working. I have the urge to want to stay in bed, but my kids are knocking at the door and they're demanding that I get up. So everything could be, well-intended, but something doesn't go right because I have the urge to do something else. So there's a few suggestions for how you can do this. Yes, you need to be committed, but if you have the urge to do something else, end the session early. Craig had asked, what's the minimum or maximum amount of time that you need to be practicing mindfulness or meditation? The correct answer is whatever works for you. So if you say, I'm going to start meditating and I've never done it before, and to say you're going to do that for 30 minutes a day, that's pretty self-sabotaging, because 30 minutes is a long time to sit down. What if you did it a minute each day? What if you say, I want to try and do for 3 minutes, but if something happens and the kids start knocking at the door, I got a minute in, at least 1 minute, end the session early. The second one is acknowledge the feeling of impatience. So you can be sitting and practicing some breathing techniques, and you notice that you just are feeling impatient. It's hard to be still, and that's uncomfortable. Acknowledge the discomfort and notice it. Don't judge it. It's something to get curious about rather than to beat yourself up about. Remind yourself of the benefits that can help, and let go over and over. So I go back to, and I do this with my yoga instruction too. It's not about letting go of everything so you have zero distraction. It's about learning to notice the distraction is coming in. I notice it's coming in, and I'm going to let it go. I notice it's coming in, and I'm going to let it go. And if that's all you do, you're practicing mindfulness perfectly, because you're increasing your awareness, you're directing your attention to something specific, and you're directing it someplace else also. And it's going to keep coming back and coming back, but then later it'll go away for a little bit longer. And then it'll come back and it'll go away, and it'll go away for a little bit longer. So it's a constant kind of ebb and flow, just like a constant ebb and flow of day and night. How do you know if you're meditating correctly if you're starting out? It's a really great question. You're describing me. So glad to hear it's normal at first. It's all normal. And there's no right way to meditate at all. There's no right way to meditate. So think about what your goal is to meditate. And that goal is going to be different for everyone. For somebody, it might be, I need just 10 minutes to escape. So I'm going to have my alone time. And if my alone time is just sitting and constantly letting my mind wander, that is a form of meditation, because you've separated yourself out of the rest. So if we get into this adage of I've got to do it right, we're missing the point, because the only right way to do it is to notice and let go and not have any judgment with it. Second challenge tends to be time. There's always something more important that gets into the way. Always. This is true for anything we want to try and do, right? I want to have an exercise program. I want to eat healthy. Like there's something. Time is always a really great excuse. I don't have time. I always like to say, if you say you don't have time, try saying it's not important and see how that makes you feel. So if something is important to you, then it becomes a priority. So prioritizing how it may fit is very important. The perception that it's also part of your routine. So when I talk about being your best self, I talk about the fact that we live in a world where it seems we're deemed selfish if we take care of ourselves first. And in reality, I would argue it's the other way around. You're being selfish by not taking care of yourself first, because when I'm burnt out, when I am at my wit's end, when I am overwhelmed and I am stressed, then I'm not giving my family my best self. I'm not giving my work my best self. I'm not giving my customers my best self, or my patients my best self, or my peers my best self. So we often think about it in a very skewed way. Well, I need to be there for everyone else. You can't be there for everyone else unless you're there for yourself. And that doesn't mean you just, well, I'm not going to take you to basketball practice. I'm going to take a bath instead. It's not about indulgence. It's about prioritizing what you know you need in order to be at your best. And so the perception that having this mindfulness time to yourself as being part of your routine is super important to take on. Getting your sleep is also important. So if you sit down and meditate and you start to get tired, and then that's a sign that you need a little bit more sleep, and you're not going to be able to have a good session if you're sleepy. We prepare our bodies, right? People don't think that it's weird to get up and take a shower and brush their teeth and to get themselves physically ready. We don't think that's weird at all. In fact, we almost expect that of everyone. But why is not preparing our minds for our day just as important? why is not preparing how we feel on the inside just as important as how we look on the outside? Third challenge, busy mind. This is so true, Danielle. I see it. You can't pour from an empty cup. That is so, so true. Cannot pour from an empty cup. Busy mind, planning, worry, wander, ruminate. I sit down. As soon as I sit down, Kristen, all I do is notice all the things that I'm worried about, and that just creates more anxiety. The more we quiet ourselves, the more we notice what comes up. And that's what distracts us and causes more restlessness. So again, it's not about the mind being empty, but it's about consistently bringing yourself back. I would also argue that we oftentimes move away from what's uncomfortable. So a lot of people, I'll use sleep as an example, a lot of people complain that they have trouble sleeping because when the day is done, I go to bed, and as soon as I start to quiet, that's when my mind starts to run. And so that used to happen to me quite often. I either couldn't get to bed, or I'd wake up at that like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock hour, and my mind would just be going. And I was able to kind of satisfy that by telling myself, I'm just sitting here worrying and ruminating on things. Now is not the time for that. I'll give myself an hour to worry and ruminate on stuff when I get up, but right now, I need to sleep. And for whatever reason, that knowing that I could give myself another time to worry really helped me. And then I found when I was actually up and doing things, you don't worry about it. So having a busy mind when you sit down to actually meditate is something to get really curious about. It's something to notice, not to judge. That I'm worrying right now. What am I worried about? And if you need to, you can pause your meditation to actually write out, these are the worries that are distracting me. This is a real thing that I keep coming back to. And then you can figure out, how do you want to tackle that? And so it's not about trying to empty, it's about noticing and letting go. Should you try to stay consistent when you start practicing meditation? Same location, same position, same time of day, eyes open or closed? Awesome questions, Craig. So it really is your choice. Consistency helps, yes, because you're creating a habit, and a habit needs consistency. It doesn't matter if you choose to do it in the morning or in the nighttime. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open or your eyes closed. Some of those are techniques that you can learn to live with. Now, if you follow a certain type of meditation or a certain type of mindfulness, they may teach you to do it in the morning. For instance, I'm practicing a meditation right now that says you should do it first thing in the morning, and you should shower right before you do it. Get up, shower, and you meditate, right? I practiced that for a while, and then I realized, like, you know what? Some days doing that right when I get up doesn't work. So I know that I want to be consistent, and I do it every day during the work week, but it doesn't always happen in the morning. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's at night, but at least I've gotten it in. So you get to determine what your consistency is, and you get to determine what your time frame is. Same location, having a location helps. So having a space helps. I have a meditation cushion. I can take that cushion with me anywhere. So it doesn't have to be the same location, but if you are doing it in your house, knowing that here's your space and that space is dedicated to it, just like you have a space for your bed, that's important because you're giving it commitment, you're giving it some type of importance, and you're kind of lifting it up to be part of your routine a little bit differently. So having a place for it is helpful. I have found the most success for myself by incorporating short mindfulness activities throughout my day, but would like to work up to longer meditations. I love that, Megan. So that's an excellent way to start, because you can build anything for a minute, right? Like my Apple Watch tells me to breathe for a minute, right? And I don't, sometimes I hit dismiss, right? And I'm not being consistent with it, but really a minute for anything, that's doable. That's doable. So if you start with a minute, and then you gradually work your way up, but don't make it hard. It doesn't have to be hard, and it shouldn't be a thing that says, if I didn't do it, I'm going to then beat myself up for it. Anything is going to be helpful. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you're going to feel the value, and the more you're going to crave it. And then it's easier to do it for a longer period of time. Last one here is diligence. We've kind of talked about this all along. You do have to be committed. But a lot of times we sit and it's hard and we don't know if we're doing it right because it's all internal. We can't see it, we can't feel it tangibly, right? We can't go show another person. So we get wrapped up in these thoughts of like, I'm not even sure if I'm getting what I'm supposed to be getting out of this. And, so then we just get up and we give up too soon. I say stay after the initial calmness. So if any of you who are on here have tried mindfulness or meditation, and you've had just a snippet of like, oh, that feels different. I feel different. I feel calmer. When you hit that point, sometimes it's easy to then stop. All right, I feel really calm. Okay, now's my stopping point. I say push past that. Once you feel that initial calmness, sit and savor it for just a second longer. And then you've allowed yourself to lengthen your time and get comfort in the discomfort. There is I want to try and do this for 10 minutes, right? You could sit there and push through and do 10 minutes of absolute discomfort. Yes, you could do that. You could say, I'm going to do it for 10 minutes and 3 minutes into it, my leg fell asleep and I'm totally uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you have to sit for another 7 minutes doing it with your leg asleep. You maybe change positions and say, I'm just going to do 30 seconds more. I'm totally uncomfortable right now, but just let me give 30 seconds and see how it feels. All right, we're going to practice. And we have 30 minutes left. So we're not going to practice for 30 minutes. I would love to get either your questions, the things that you're concerned about, the things you've tried, offering up any other tips to each other, because you're all going to have your own experiences. I'd love to get some of those going in the chat. Craig has a question. Are there any tips for meditation techniques with people who have a health condition, example, asthma? You know what? Yes, there is. So we're going to do a breathing technique as part of our practice. There's a variety of them. Any type of health condition can be worked around. I would say that my largest tip is that if you do have asthma, you need to be careful about the types of breathing that you do take on. So there are there's a variety of breathing techniques, but there's some that can be a little bit more intense. And so you want to be with something that makes you feel comfortable, obviously. If all else fails, all you need to do is breathe normally. And we're going to breathe through our belly and practice that here in a second. If you've got other types of limitations that may cause you to sit a certain way, or maybe you lay down and you can't lay down on your back, so you lay on your side. There's always a modification that you can do so that you can be comfortable. So my biggest tip is to pay attention. What do you know about your body, and how do you then need to set yourself up to be comfortable? You don't have to be sitting in the lotus position with your, hands crossed and some, mudra or what have you. You can be sitting however is most comfortable for you, particularly when you're starting out. Okay, so we ready to practice? Oh, we've got a couple more questions. Hang on here. Do you have any recommendations for books or resources that may help become more advanced in meditation? Okay, there's a couple of apps that I'm going to offer you on your mobile device. There's one called Insight Timer, and there's another one called Headspace. I think Headspace has become wildly popular, and both of those offer free versions to where I think in the Headspace app, you can actually do 10 meditations each for 3 different stages. So I think they have a 3-minute, a 5-minute, and a 10-minute, and it takes you through 10 sessions. So you could really do, a full 30 days doing that meditation Headspace app for free, and you can get yourself something on a daily basis for 30 days. And you can do them over and over again. They also will send you some quotes that can pop up and give you as a reminder. Insight Timer also has a free version, and there's a variety of guided meditations. So if you find that your mind is really busy, some techniques that I use, one is my breath and what I do with my breath and concentrating on my breath. And another one is to do a guided meditation, because if you're hearing somebody else's words, then you're focused on the words and you're less likely to have your mind wander. It still will, and you still will bring it back, but it gives you something to concentrate on, and that can be helpful. There are a variety of different books that on meditation that you can have. There's also different courses on meditation as well. A lot of the kind of self-help arena has areas of meditation. I've always found that it's nice to have something that's more on audio, because then you've got the practice with it. I've read a couple of meditation books where they've got the guided meditation in the actual book, and you have to read it, and it's like, well, I'm not going to really read the meditation. I want to do the meditation. So if you get the audio book, then it can give you that guided that way. Excellent question. In the racing mind, just reading here, seek moments of peace, feel like times. Yes, mind is always racing. It's a really, really big problem for us. Randy says, I like to focus on body parts and visual color, light coming into that area. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do that. I start at the top of my head and work myself down to the right side of my body to my toes, come back up, and then go back down. I love it. So in the example, I see my head, right elbow, and visualize light blue shining in that area. Yes. So visualization can also be a really great way to pave that pathway and to keep your mind focused on something so it's not complete space, right? And visualization works really well to be able to also notice and get into your body. Because a lot of times we try, we get distracted. And if we pause, and the minute we get in our body, your body's going to tell you more. It really knows a lot. And if we learn to listen to it, it will tell you what is going on before it becomes a problem. So I love that. Excellent. Love Headspace. Yes, it's a great one. Okay, so let's practice. I'm going to ask for you to find a comfy space. And that may be sitting in a chair, it may be laying down, it might be sitting on the floor, whatever that looks like for you, let it be. And find yourself in that spot. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And for a moment, I want you to just notice your body in the space that it's in. Just notice that you're lying on the floor in a room. You're sitting in a chair, and feel the chair underneath you. You're sitting on the floor, wherever that is for you. Picture and visualize your body taking up the space that it's in, and notice the space that you're in. And then I want you to start to notice your breath. So for those of you that really are wondering, what is one thing that's super simple I can do? This is it. On the inhale, notice you're breathing in. On the exhale, notice you're breathing out. Inhale, you're breathing in. Exhale, you're breathing out. Easiest, simplest exercise any time of the day you can do. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. So if that works for you, you can hang on to it. And as you notice on the inhale, you're breathing in, notice how it begins to expand. And as you exhale on the exhalation, and you notice that you're exhaling and breathing out, notice what happens as the breath releases. As you inhale, there's a natural expansion. I'm breathing in. And on the exhale, there's a natural depression, releasing, letting go. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. On the inhale, notice the belly as it rises, expanding. And as you exhale, notice the belly as it releases. So it's called diaphragmatic breathing, where you breathe starting from your belly. So maybe you put your hand there, wherever it is that you are laying, seated, wherever you might be. And as you inhale, feel your belly press against your hands. And as you exhale, notice your hands kind of release and sink toward your spine. And then you're going to start to deepen that. So as you inhale, you let your belly expand. Keep inhaling. You notice your ribs start to expand. Keep inhaling. You feel that breath all the way into your chest. And then as you exhale, I'm breathing out. I release from my chest. I release from my ribs. I release from my belly. As I inhale, my belly expands into my ribs, into my chest. As I exhale, I release from my chest, then my ribs, then my belly. Breathing in, I breathe in. I breathe out. And see if you can create longer, fuller breaths. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. So your concentration and your awareness is only on your inhales and only on your exhales. And start to notice what happens at the very top of that inhalation, right before you exhale. There's a space, there's a pause. And what happens at the very end of that exhalation, before you take your next inhale, there's a pause, there's a space. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. We're going to do something that is called the 5-5-7 breath. We're going to inhale for 5. We're going to hold for 5. And we're going to exhale for 7. So on your next exhalation, let out all the breath. And then as you inhale, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Inhale. hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Letting the breath come back to neutral. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And just take a scan. Notice how the breath feels different. Nothing's good, nothing's bad. You're just noticing. And you're noticing the difference. So as you breathe in and breathe out, start to bring your attention back to your body. You feel the body against whatever is underneath you. Notice the feeling of the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor, wherever you are. Feeling your body take up that space. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice your chest and your abdomen continue to expand. Allow the air as you inhale to fill up your lungs completely. And begin to notice the sensations of what you're aware of. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. What sensations come to the forefront initially? Just notice. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And as you breathe in space. As you breathe out, you notice stillness. There's a sense of relaxing. There's a sense of releasing on the exhalation. And begin to bring your attention to the top of your head, noticing the sensations in your scalp, around your hair, the back of your head, the sides, and then bring your attention to your face, your brow, the temples, the corners of your eyes. And bring your awareness to your mouth, noticing if your jaw is relaxed or clenched. Maybe you move it around and you let your lower jaw kind of sink and the corners of your mouth relax. As you move to your neck, feeling the sides of your neck, the back of your neck, into your collarbone. Your collarbone spreads. Your shoulders then kind of relax. You can feel the front part of your shoulders, but also the back part of your shoulder blades. And the very bottoms of your shoulder blades rest and settle, allowing your arms to relax, feeling the left side from your shoulder down to your elbow, to your wrists and your fingertips. Maybe your left palm is a little bit tingly. Bringing your attention to your right shoulder, down to your right elbow, into your right forearm and wrist, into your right fingertips and your right palm. So your head and your neck and your arms are completely relaxed. And then bringing your breath into your chest. I breathe in, I breathe out. You can feel the right side and the left side of your chest releases. The left side of your ribs and the right side of your ribs relax. Into your hips the hip creases, the buttocks. So from your head through your neck, the collarbone, and all down your arms into your torso, the body's filled with space. I breathe in, I breathe out. I'm bringing your awareness into your left leg, the left thigh, the kneecap, the left back of the knee, the left shin, the left calf, into the left ankle, all the way into the left foot, pinky toe, all the toes, the top of the foot. Bringing the breath into the right leg, the right thigh, back of the thigh, the kneecap, the back of the knee, into the shin, the calf, the right ankle, the right heel, all the way into the right toes, pinky toe, all the way to the big toe, and the top of the foot. So your whole body, from your head, your arms, your torso, the right leg, the left leg, completely still. I breathe in, I breathe out. And as you breathe in and you breathe out, begin to visualize your spine. Your spine completely at ease, holding your entire body, whether you're sitting or you're laying down. And you can picture that spine as a hollow tube filled with space and breath. I breathe in, I breathe out. As you breathe in, you're breathing in relaxation, peace, space, calmness, stillness. And as you breathe out, that fills that hollow tube in your spine. Each inhale, breathing in more space. Each exhale, allowing that energy in the tube to circulate more and more. And maybe that tube begins to have a light to it. Maybe it's a whitish hue, maybe it's a brighter blue light. Completely centered, completely calm. I breathe in, I breathe out. And as you keep this, you can start to visualize that light in your spine start to spread to all parts of your body. Taking it first to that left arm, down into the left hand. And then that light opens to the right side, into the right shoulder, into the right elbow, down into the right fingertips. And that light starts to swirl around your rib cage, into your hips, as it spreads into your left leg, your left hip, your left knee, into your left ankle, into your left toes. And then it swirls into the right hip, down the right leg, into the right knee, into the right calf and ankle, into the right toes. So your whole body, I breathe in, I breathe out, filled with light, filled with calm, filled with what is naturally your center and you. And as you keep that, begin to feel the energy in your body. Begin to visualize your body laying on the floor or sitting in the chair. Begin to notice your body space and noticing your body being able to be a part of the room that you're in. I breathe in, I breathe out. Begin to notice the sounds in the room. Begin to notice any smells of the room. Begin to notice the floor underneath you and your body grounded in the space that it is laying or sitting in. And very, very slowly, I breathe in, I breathe out. Keep your awareness, keep your breath, but start to open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, you breathe in, you breathe out. And you just notice and you savor just for a moment how you're feeling, how it's different. Notice what you see in the room and begin to bring yourself back. It's always really difficult when I can't actually see people to know where you're at and how you are doing and taking up the space. So I'm going to linger in my words just to let everyone come back. And if there are any comments or any questions, certainly feel free to begin to put them into the chat. And in the meantime, I will share that we went a little bit longer than I anticipated, mainly because I was feeling it. So hopefully you were feeling it too. And my intention today is that you could take one thing from today's practice and session to be able to use for yourself, to potentially share with others, and to give back to yourself for the work that you do. So I hope that you were able to take something from that, and I'm always here for you with any questions that you might have for me. Thank you very much for letting me lead this.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Kristen. I feel so relaxed. I don't know about you guys. That's definitely something I'd love to add to my repertoire every day. Yeah, so much of that really was brought home to me, like before you go to bed, your mind racing with all the things you need to get done. I mean, this is just fantastic. And I'm sure the nurses all appreciate this. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We have 2 more webinars this week for our Nurses Week that will continue on. Next Tuesday, do join us for Male Nurses Bridging the Gap, where we'll hear from some great alumni and nurses that have reached very high places in their careers with nursing. And then, of course, we have another mindful meditation series at 7 p.m. on Wednesday with Christopher Dennis. So do join us for that one as well. It seems like we got some great meditation enthusiasts today. And Kristen, this was wonderful. And again, this recording will be available to all the nurses who weren't able to attend today. We thank you all. And one last thing, we did leave a couple of links in the chat for everybody. Do feel free to copy or click on them if you'd like more information about the nursing degrees, and also the link to register for the next 2 webinars this coming week. Happy Nurses Week, everybody.